In this last program of my music, I would like to present to you music which generally involves either my political convictions or my technical studies and my interest in the musics of other peoples. Firstly, let me say that I am a practical musician in the music of other peoples, and I am in fact authorized to teach the Peri, which is a Korean instrument. It is in fact an aulos in our terms. In the United States, Peri is spelt P-I-R-I, Peri, and it is an aulos, a double reed instrument of cylindrical bore. It's an instrument that is still much used in East Asia by all peoples. It's the Hichiriki in Japan, it's the Guan in China, and it is a very ancient instrument. I also wrote for this instrument, have written a number of pieces for it, in fact. The present example is a study which later turned into the second movement of my new ode, a work of political connotation, which is going to be done this summer at the Cabrillo Festival. This particular piece is a prelude for Peri and harmonium. I myself am playing the Hyang, or the Korean Peri, and Robert Hughes is accompanying me on the harmonium. The second of these practical pieces for instruments of Oriental origin is my first sonata for the Saltery. Saltery is the correct term in our Western tongues for an instrument which is parallel strung and generally tuned scale-wise. For example, the koto in our terms is a Saltery. This Saltery is an instrument of my own design based on the Chinese zheng. It is metal strung, and it has 16 strings tuned in a pentatonic or 5-tone scale. This is my first sonata for Saltery. I am playing on it, playing the instrument myself. I'm interested in instruments from all over the world, and one particular one that I became enamored of a couple of years ago is the Amira, M-B-I-R-A. This is an African instrument, very widespread. It is, as a matter of fact, to my mind, the most beautiful and important of the African contributions to the art of music. It's a box, basically, over which are forced, as it were, through two metal channels, tongues of metal, spring metal. They are tongues which you pluck, and this produces the tone. As far as I know, it's one of the few plucked instruments of tongues. Well, the music box operates on the same system, but this is a hand-operated music box, and it's called the Amira. And I have four of them, 2 in high register and 2 in low register. Here they are heard accompanying a solo for violin. It's done in concertante style. I myself am playing the first Amira, and you will hear me beating on the floor with my foot. This is conventional African performance, and beating on the body of the instrument is a kind of supplementary drum performance, which is heard with the tongues of metal. The solo violinist is Gary Beswick, for whom I wrote this. This is one movement of a work that I wrote called Music for Violin with Various Instruments. I was invited to be a senior scholar and composer at the Festival of 20th Century Music at the University of Hawaii a few years ago, and I composed for that occasion a piece called Pacifica Rondo in the Esperanto, which means, freely translated in English, Pacific Round. Round has a different meaning in Esperanto slightly. It means a circle. My idea in writing the piece was, since I was in Hawaii, to take an affectionate look around the entire Pacific Basin. I did so, and I would like to present 3 pieces from this work, which combines Oriental instruments plus Western instruments. The first piece is called Lotus, and it is a kind of homage to Buddhism. In this, I myself am playing the Miguk Peri, or the American Peri, a lucite instrument of similar type to the Korean Peri, along with members of the Honolulu Symphony Orchestra. The second section of Pacific Round that I would like to present is the movement called A Hatred of the Filthy Bomb. It was at the time that before the bomb test, or the bomb agreement, had been arranged and agreed upon, and I didn't like the testing going on in the Pacific, so that I wrote this Hatred of the Filthy Bomb. It's a piece of exasperation, and it introduces the fact that I have written a number of pieces of social protest. The first one dates back to the Spanish War. In 1937, I composed a piece about that, and I have at various times, when moved by indignation or interest, composed pieces on the subject of political matters that I felt concerned with as a citizen. I think it is not too frequent that that a concert artist makes such a comment. But I think that music should be able to concern itself with other than the 2 standard subjects of love and God. And politics is perfectly a legitimate one, and this is one example of this. The movement from my Pacific Round called A Hatred of the Filthy Bomb. Then, finally, from the Pacific Round, a piece called From the Dragon Pool. This, of course, refers to the Sinitic heritage of the Pacific Basin, and is written in a compositional technique which I call simultaneous variation. It's actually a large, slow, unison melody, but every instrument in the orchestra ornaments it as is proper to each instrument. Therefore, it consists of a great number of simultaneous melodies and variations being played together. I've also been interested in exact tuning, interval relationships, and some years ago I wrote for a projected puppet production of Racine's Cinna, a classic French tragedy, some incidental music, which I proposed to be played on a small piano that might have, say, aluminum hammers or something of the sort. Quite preposterous in terms of practicality, but that's what I wanted. At any rate, I did make a recording in my studio of it on a single strung piano. I simply had the other strings removed so I could tune it quickly, and this is tuned in correct just intonation, in which a gamut of the 12 tones is tuned using intervals up through the prime number 7. Some of these may sound a bit strange, but they are exactly in tune. The recording is not very good, but we will hear a movement or so that are not too badly done. I myself am committing the piano part. My strict songs, which I composed as a commission from the Louisville Symphony Orchestra, again require the retuning of the whole orchestra and the elimination of those instruments which cannot be properly tuned in just intonation. For these songs, I caused the strings to be completely retuned to avoid commas, as they're called, and other difficulties in intonation. A group of 8 baritones had to learn to sing several basic intervals with which they were not familiar. The piano had to be retuned 2 weeks in advance, and 3 harps used, which were also retuned so that all of the notes are in correct pitch. I thought this might trouble a standard symphonic institution, but on the contrary found that everybody was delighted with the relief from routine and also to hear some new sounds. There were no arguments at all about it. Everybody seemed to enjoy it, and indeed I was asked for more of same. In another point of interest in them is that they take off from American Indian ideas. They are, in fact, my concept of arising from the Navajo Hozoni songs, making things right and well again songs. There are 4 of them, and the texts are of my own, and they deal with various aspects of the world and one's relationship to them. They are here sung by 8 baritones from the Southern Baptist Seminary and conducted by Robert Whitney with the Louisville Orchestra. I want to thank Howard Hirsch and the music department of KPFA for this opportunity, not only to present some of my music to what is called most of Central California and the KPFA audience, but also for the opportunity, which has been valuable to me in making these programs, of organizing my thoughts a little bit, and for the opportunity of surveying my own work, because I am in a creative period now of considerable intensity, and I have been recently composing and finishing a great number of small works. And also I'm on work and continuously on a ballet deriving from my third labyrinth. Therefore, this general survey of my music has been of aid to me, I hope some pleasure to you, and I wish to express my gratitude and pleasure to the staff, too, for the considerable work on editing, and to Howard Hirsch especially for organizing all this material so graciously and kindly.